Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our
Today
channel.
we're watching the Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 18. We're still kidnapped, but things could be worse.
We get to possibly go to a festival,
Yeah.
so things could definitely be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Where do you feel like we'll start the episode? With Jinshi or with Mao Mao?
I think with Jinshi Lacan. I feel like since we ended with Mao Mao, we are going to go back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Jinshi?
This is going to be exhausting and scary.
I'm anxious. Good. Nice!
Oh my gosh.
More
Mao could have
importance to get her
literally...
back.
She literally could have saved both the baby and Gyokyu's life. 10 days. Grabs the cat.
A lead?
Suspicious.
Specifically.
Graveyard. And I'm sure a lot of them wondered why he was there. Often, maybe even. Without even a record of the...
Shenlu.
Shenlu let Mao Mao write a note, and now this. Keep messing up.
Holy shit, Jinshi. Oh my god. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, she gonna kill herself!
What the fuck, Shenlu? Begged. This music's beautiful.
Who is this person?
Whew.
The shadow looked like...
Oh my god. Look at his resolve. Oh my god.
The way he's piecing things.
I love it. It's amazing. God, what a perfect setup. I'll do everything I can. Oh my god! Stay here! Yeah. Yeah! Who the fuck are you? Oh my god, Jinshi! How many times this episode have we had to say that?
How many times do we have to try to calm down?
She wouldn't be returning.
Wouldn't be returning?
What does the Emperor think right now?
Also, what would the punishment be for all the people that know a high-ranking concubine left?
Nobody knows anything. Is Shen Lu still alive? This is so good. This is so good.
Investigate the plant. Get this man on it!
Yeah.
Shisho is currently missing.
Lacan's assistant? From the intro?
Yeah, he's the guy from the intro.
I love him. Follow the money!
Part of the same family. I wonder what Mao Mao would think of him.
She'd be a little irritated. I'll use whatever I can. Oh my god, it's so good! Okay, that was the Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episode 18. What an episode. That was amazing. It was fantastic. I feel like the other day in the car, you and I were talking about... I haven't watched a lot of, like, romance anime, and I've very sparsely read, like, romance manga, but there's something that's special when you inevitably pivot to, let's say that the main protagonist is a female, and you are in their head, or you're mainly following them and their own feelings for a majority of the story. But when you pivot to the romantic interest, if you will, it's very interesting in how people tend to handle it. It could easily be a softball at first with how you'd want to handle it, but then when you get into specifics, that's what really deviates the mid storylines and characters and love interests from the great ones. And seeing Jinchi this episode, obviously it's in a slightly different light than the one that I'm portraying, but seeing Jinchi this episode was absolutely phenomenal. It was incredible. I loved it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we were talking about in the car how I think it was more prompted by the thought of, like, some of my favorite moments in romance is when you finally get to see the POV from the other party that is not the main protagonist that you've been following the whole time. And that can go for other stories other than romance, other genres. I feel like any time that you dip into the point of view of another character within a story, especially if you've kind of grown to love them through watching them outside of their own point of view, it is one of the most exciting moments in media sometimes for me. Like, I really love that. Like, it almost feels like a present. Like, oh my god, I'm getting to see what this person in the world feels and thinks and how they're reacting to maybe a moment that I already knew how my protagonist was reacting to it. It's one of my favorite moments. And so, obviously, regardless of genre, this episode is exciting for me, especially because Jinchi, I've already grown to love him. I've had like almost 2 seasons now with him. And for his emotions that were coming forward and his trying so hard to control them, I was so excited to be kind of in his mind and following him in this episode.
Yeah, it's been about 10 days since Mao Mao has gone missing, but that sentiment that Mao Mao has of only doing what she can do, I think that's reflected in Luomin, has so much weight this episode on Jinchi in the best way possible. I feel like we had so many moments of him being emotional and emotionally compromised and having to calm himself down, but I don't think that takes away, and we need to shine a light on how well he did with the information that he had, because not only was he trying to piece these things together, but he's doing it while he's also in disguise, while he's also compromised. Like, right off the bat, we see the Gyokyu situation, which, thank fucking God,
Mao Mao,
the breech birth is reversed because of
Yes.
Mao Mao's treatment.
Good job, Mao Mao. Honestly, I feel really good about that kind of plot point as a fear being diminished, like dismissed and like gotten rid of, because I feel like what's happening for protagonists is definitely the highlight of like build up intensity that I want to be focused on in the plot. And I feel like it definitely was a fearful, suspenseful thing to be utilized in the plot, to have that fear about Gyokyu and the birth and what would happen to this child, what would happen to her. But we did get to see Mao Mao do all that what she can do, you know, leading up to her getting kidnapped. And it makes me feel really good to know that this isn't going horribly wrong while she's gone. I feel like really relieved to be able to be like, oh, okay, that's gonna be okay, and now I can focus on the fact that we're gonna find Mao Mao.
And why do I feel like the first thing that Mao Mao's gonna say to Jinshi inevitably when she's rescued is, how's Gyokyu doing?
It would definitely be on her mind. I know that the baby was probably coming a little bit early.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like Mao Mao would wonder, how is Gyokyu's
I
pregnancy
completely
going?
agree.
Has the baby been born? I do think that would be one of the first things on her mind, especially because I don't think she was like before the Ox Bazaar was the thing that was on her mind. You know, is that what I'm gonna get? That's what you'd expect her to be like. Oh, you rescued me from being kidnapped. Can I have the Ox Bazaar now if you feel so bad? But we already have that. So
yeah. Just seeing Jinshi there, like at first being rattled, like obviously, like, and reasonably so. I like that he kind of, the first thing to calm him down is seeing the quack doctor like be more, you know, on edge than he is, and being able to see somebody more visibly panicked. It's nice to know that there's somebody more visibly panicked than he is currently.
That cat was like, wait, why are you telling him to watch me? I'm doing perfectly fine over here. Wait, put me down.
Yeah. And so the next thing that we had with Jinshi was figuring out that, you know, Tsuri was in disguise going as Tian, going to the graveyard on the north side, which is when we see Shenlu. Oh my god, even like going there, I'm like, I'm surprised that this is happening. Like, we only had Jinshi basically this episode. We didn't have like any Mao Mao until the end. And seeing the pace on how quick Jinshi's taking action was super interesting and really nice to watch. But the entire Shenlu interaction did not go down the way that I thought it would, and it was chilling.
So does Shenlu just always carry poison on her person, or does she do it now because the fact that she assisted in something that is a grave crime here?
I mean, it seemed like she was always assisting, like at least within Laolin and Suri, and it could be just now, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was just always. I wasn't surprised that she took it. I'm surprised that she's alive. I don't know if she'll be alive for long, other than giving out information potentially of where the route that was, you know, used to escape was.
I feel like the obvious question to then ask ourselves in the discussion upon bringing that up is, are we going to be receiving information from Shenlu that is going to get us to Mao Mao? How are we going to get to Mao Mao? I think you really just brought it up there with, like, is she even gonna, like, obviously she's stable, so we should be able to get her to wake up and be able to ask her questions, but that also calls into question, would she answer those questions if forced to? You know, especially, like, how she feels about Jinshi. She might not be comfortable answering those questions in front of him and would rather be quiet and
I
talk.
almost think that Jinshi could get answers out of her because of the resemblance, but not by using it. By being maybe like earnest and honest about, like, do I actually look like him? I would have no recollection. Like, and actually like break it down a little bit.
Have like a deeper conversation of like, I am not him. I didn't even know him.
I
but
understand
also, like,
your resentment towards the rear palace. It's real. It exists for a reason, and that was a disgusting man. This might even be my true identity. Please give me something. Mao Mao shouldn't be a casualty over this, you know?
I mean, he definitely can talk to her more in an authentic way because of the fact that she has identified his true identity.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it wasn't confirmed, but, like, breaking down that entire scene, seeing Jinshi, like, the first snap that Jinshi had was the recognizing the smell, right? Watching him break the character of Jinshi is so rewarding, dude. Like, he snaps at her and grabs her.
He's like, the only way you could smell like the alcohol is if Mao Mao had actually taken it there to give to you for cleaning.
I know.
Or that you've probably had interactions with Mao Mao because you smell like this at the clinic.
Seeing his expression, look at it. And it only gets harsher and more serious as we go in the episode. But, like, seeing this, it feels like I'm just seeing it for the first time, like, in terms of a character expression from Jinshi. And it's so fucking cool, man.
You're seeing a progression here. This first grabbing of the wrist and where did Mao Mao go is coming with so little information of why are you grabbing this woman's wrist? She just smells like alcohol. That doesn't actually tell you she has anything to do with or knows anything about Mao Mao.
Yeah.
And it just shows what we then see, which is him being like, calm down, get evidence. And what then happens later on is he sees actual visible reason to suspect that that's not Laolin sitting there.
Yeah.
And then he acts.
Yeah.
Here, he's, like, much more quick with it. In his, like, he's not waiting for concrete evidence kind of in the same way that Mamo is always like, I'm not going to speak on conjecture, you know, I'm going to suss things out a little bit more.
I feel like even with, we'll talk about it when we get there. I still wanted to talk a little bit about the scene, if that's okay. Mm-hmm. So we get Shen Lu being like, why is someone of your status pretending to be a eunuch after seeing the similarities between the previous emperor? And god damn it, he's such a fucking weirdo freak, giving out candy and shit too. You could not make him worse. I hate him so much.
And they paint him as having such a beautiful, sweet voice like honey. And
like the character of Jinshi.
The way that he was able to probably make some of these girls feel like he was a safe and sweet person before what inevitably happens. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of their lives, how they then have to think about that and view that and be stuck here. It's massively gross.
Yeah. I loved that Jinshi kind of like zoned out and he wasn't able to respond to Goshin. And Goshin like took the lead and was like, this is what we need to do. Jinshi, what are your commands? Like, come on, lock in. And I love both of them, but it led to a conversation that I, of course, want to bring up of Goshin, do I look like him? Enough to make someone drink poison out of fear. In my memory, he was already a withered old man. I didn't look like my mother or my brother, so I believed. I wonder where he got his looks from. Given the Emperor's taste, it couldn't be the Empress, not at her age. That's why everyone's saying he's an illegitimate child. This was such a fascinating thing to get a look at, man.
How he viewed himself from hearing how everyone else was talking.
Yeah. I believed the rumors that said I had no connection to him. I tried to escape the position of crown prince. I begged my brother, the emperor, to let me take on the eunuch identity and plant myself in the Garden of Women. All for what?
All for what if you actually are the crown prince?
Oh, like him saying all for what was like a hit to my gut. Like just trying to imagine the place that he's in right now and dealing with it, because all for what are you doing right now? Like as where you are in terms of status, like looking at his character and looking at, he's trying to find Mao Mao. Yeah. Like this servant girl, this apothecary.
The way we're like forcing him into his, reminding him of his roles here and the kind of mix of roles he has as the eunuch Jinshi and then the crown prince, and him trying to escape the kind of duties or the reality of being the crown prince by asking to be here, and yet inevitably this old lady Shen Lu from the clinic is gonna look at you and be so in fear and seeing the late emperor basically in front of her when looking at you.
Yeah. God. I like just with like his so much status. I like bring back to season 1 when like we first get like Jinshi's like, you can see a little bit of his view on the world and what he views to be unfortunate and like mistreatment through his conversation with Mao Mao. Mm-hmm. And to think that he's gonna go to the end of the world for a taste tester. It, like when you try to remove everything from it, and it's just amazing. And I love it.
If you take Mao Mao out of the equation, he has not given us anything from season 1 that wouldn't make us think that he would care about an innocent life of a servant person if it wasn't her. Like, he has given us every reason to think he would care and want more, to put more protections in place for other people.
Yeah. Him going in to confront Laolin. the first like sequence that we see of the Laolin stand-in, I hope that I was able to like, I hope that it comes across. The first second that I saw it, I was like, holy shit, there's a mole. Like, I like, within like the first 2 seconds that the frame popped up of her face and we like pan up a little bit, I'm like, holy shit, there's a mole. That's not supposed to be there.
See, yeah, exactly. Like, but I didn't notice that during this. Not that I didn't notice it. I was just so much more focused on like hair color, eye color, everything, shape of the face, everything looks identical to what it should be. You know, more of the, I was getting distracted by the flashy, by the makeup,
by the intention. Yeah.
Like, I'm literally getting fooled by their intention to fool me.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's working on me.
For example, the shapes of your lips and eyes, and also wipes it off. The position of your moles. Just look at Jinshi's fucking face. Oh my god.
And then what we learn here about what he's been intentionally like learning and doing and picking apart even the micro differences in these people from the shapes of their lips and everything.
Like, I do not envy Renpu's position here. Like, I would be scared to death. This is like horrifying, and I love it. I love it so much.
Especially if you don't know anything.
I know, or you only know that you're supposed to be standing in, and that's it.
And you're doing something for, well, that's the power dynamic. She was probably tasked and asked to do this by really powerful people.
Yeah.
Can you really say no to the concubine whose father is Shisho? Can you really say no?
I have a question for you. So we get something that I imagine will be coming like inevitably chronologically soon of the like the Lacan Shisho conversation with the wine. Yeah. Do you think that Laolin is colorblind as well? Or no? I don't recall anything of like terms of like insects or bugs from the whole like Shisui like, you know, arc that would have suggested so. But just knowing that like it's in the bloodline, and I'd be like, it'd be a curious addition to add in like matching outfits and trying to be so like exceedingly different and how quick you're switching things, like if that was an added layer to it.
Yeah, I don't think I've been given anything to believe that she is also colorblind, but that's a good like
other than it being
ask.
Like, oh, it's genetic and her being related to Shisho, obviously. Yeah, I agree. There hasn't really been anything to give hints at it, but it's just another thing, you know?
It's another tie of like who is related to who, and kind of all stemming back to their legitimacy and their tie to the throne, and kind of who deserves to be there.
Yeah. Lacan acted and reacted exactly how I assumed it would go down, and I love it.
And Jinji's like, oh my god, how did he find out? It's like, of course he eventually found out.
Yeah, I feel like immediately when that happened and he reacted the way that he did, like, yes, you're reacting outwardly and how you feel, but Lacan gives me the type of person that while that's happening, he has like a second part of his brain working overtime, figuring out what the actual steps that he needs to take will be.
When he was making all that physical damage to the buildings around him, he was still thinking 100%.
Yeah. Do you like Lahan?
I do like him. I think that one of my fun takeaway questions is I wonder how Mao Mao would interact with him, and I'd be excited to see that in the future, especially inevitably rescuing her. But his whole reason for doing this, that he did all this work, you know, even transcribed it enough to like an excerpt that would be nice and tidy for Jinshi to be able to read.
Spark notes,
is all to hopefully get a bill to go away.
Yeah, or at least a discount.
I find on a bill.
It really is interesting to even do what Lahan did, because you're taking a risk in of itself, right? If you're summarizing something like a massive factual statement like of like a credit card or like bills paid, and you just give that over, there's no intention by you. You couldn't even be accused of doing something by giving that over. But when you're by doing that, assuming the person you're handing it over to will see the same connections and trace it down and follow the money in the way that you did. If you are summarizing it all in a very like neat, concise package, and not even subtly, but like really suggesting that, you know, money might be going
Well, yeah,
somewhere.
it's suggestive.
You're putting yourself out there.
Manipulative in some regard.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. But
you're hoping that he follows the same train of thought as you, but you're kind of forcing that to
yeah,
happen.
and you're really putting yourself out there by doing that.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's great.
I'm excited by I love the whole family.
Me too.
So I was really happy by this entrance. I was not expecting to meet him by himself. I was expecting to meet him more how the OP shows it, which is like he's just right next to Lacan, and that we'd see some sort of event with the two of them together, or even like a conversation with the two of them alone first.
I'm kind of glad that we got to meet him as like a individual
as an individual. Yeah, I could agree with that, because then it helps point out kind of similarities to the family dynamic, like, or personality traits that are similar.
If you carry around an abacus, I probably will like you as a person. Yeah. That's just a rule.
Have you seen anyone like just walking around with an abacus before?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were like, I automatically like you.
No, I got too nervous. I had to start a conversation.
That's so fair.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
I don't, do you?
One thing, which is my question about Shisho. So he's currently missing.
Yeah.
That's what we learn. And obviously, it's evidently clear with him being missing, but also the fact that we can clearly say that a high-ranking concubine has left the rear palace, and that
no longer a concubine.
No longer a concubine. This is a serious crime, and even if she committed it without her father knowing, he's still at fault. Especially, like, he still needs to be questioned at least. But we see him meeting with Lacan and Ao Duo as Jinshi later on. Mm-hmm. So my questioning is, how are we going to get him to a position where he's allowed to walk around like he normally is, with his daughter being clearly not here anymore, and she's a high-ranking concubine?
Where we get Lao Lin right now, she isn't with Shisho, right? So like, even
so you can feign ignorance, like, I didn't know my daughter was missing.
You can feign ignorance. It could be like a double-sided trap to like to act like, oh yeah, we're allowing you to feign ignorance, but we're trying to get you back in the palace. I don't know. The only thing I think I know is I'm pretty sure Shisho is going to die at the end of this. And because of that, I imagine he's going to come back into the palace, whether intentionally or not. Like, in terms of free will. Like, I don't know if he will be captured and brought here, or the situation will paint itself a picture that he could come here and kind of, like, get some talking in, you know?
I almost felt just during the episode that Jinshi was even maybe being too gracious and giving him too much credit to even speculate or wonder if the reason for this plan was because of Shisho's love for his daughter. And there was a part of me during it like, no, I hate this guy. Like, that's not it. But it does open that question up of like, why would you plan this? And does he in fact plan this or be a part of it because of his love for his daughter?
I wish I could like be in Shisho's brain right now. I wish we could see like him either freaking out, being pissed that this is going down, not going to plan, whatever. I would love to see his perspective.
Yeah, I don't expect we're gonna get his POV next episode. I don't expect we'll ever get to know what that guy was thinking or planning. But it would be really interesting.
Yeah. All right, you good? Mm-hmm. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We hope to see you next time.